What is up, Rick? How are you, man?
I am good, sir. How are you?
Good. In case you don't know, this is Rick and Ryan Live. It's a little video podcast that we do from time to time to talk about games and life and stuff, mostly stuff.
Right. I'm only doing this so that my name can be in the title of something. That's really the only reason I participate.
That's really the only reason why YouTube exists.
Right.
So,
Because I want my name on things, and other people want their name on
yes,
things.
that's right. So, how have you been, man? Did you game at all this weekend?
So sort of, kind of, in that my brother and one of our friends came over and we watched, I don't know if you ever watched those YouTube videos where they play a song and you're supposed to, it's like name that tune in YouTube form. Well, we watched that incessantly, and then I decided instead of watching these, well, why don't we just play it? So what ended up happening is that like for 2 hours, I brought out bongos from that video game Donkey Konga. I don't know if you remember
Oh,
that.
yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
We used it as a buzzer set, and so I just played music on a speaker, and whoever guessed it first, we said got a point, but we did not keep track of points. We just did that for far too long for adults to be doing. So, but it was fun. That's
That's
what
really
I
cool.
did Saturday.
That's cool. That's awesome, man.
How about
I'm
you
trying to
guys?
think. Yeah, we didn't do much this weekend. I don't know if we played any games Saturday or Sunday. I know we did play. We played some Batman the animated series, the dice game. We went. Me and Josiah and Kendall. We went out to eat with a friend of ours, and we actually played it at the restaurant. So, which was pretty cool. This is one of those low maintenance, really small footprint games. It's Steve Jackson Games makes it, and you played. Zombie dice, right? I think lots
Yeah.
of people have. Okay, so it's basically zombie dice with a couple extra things. So you've got the Batman symbol. That's what you don't want to roll, and then you've got that's our phone. Nice.
You should feature whoever it is on the podcast. Perhaps it is
Well,
a salesman of some sort, and they can be.
it probably is.
Thanks for giving us a call. We're not home right now. Be sure to leave a message and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks.
That's our voice
Maybe it's
message.
something really personal.
It probably is. Ryan,
Oh,
your
yeah.
test results are in, and I hate to
All
say
right.
it. No.
And it's true. You are a crocodile.
Yes, all those scales.
Yeah.
So you've got these money bags right here, and then the other one is like these alarm bells right there. So those are the three sides of the dice. You've got three different colors, just like in zombie dice. But what you're doing is you're actually playing as a criminal, and Batman is tracking you down. So I guess the one thing that I don't like about this game is that you can only play four players. And I think I'm going to try to find a way around it. So if you play as Catwoman, each blue money bag counts as twice the score. Okay, it counts two times. You've got Joker, you've got Poison Ivy here, and who else?
The
I'm
Riddler.
blanking on
That's the
the
Riddler.
name, the Riddler. I was about to say the green guy.
The
I
green
was like,
guy is
that is
his
not his name.
backup name.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so you play as one of those characters. It only plays four players because those are the four special abilities that you get. But it's a fun game. I think it's actually a little stronger theme wise than Zombie Dice, just because you have those little player cards, little player tokens that tell you what bonuses you get. And so the odds are pretty much the same and everything. So yeah, I dig it, and I would actually pick this up before I picked up Zombie Dice. So
Yeah.
if you've ever been like, I need a quick dice game to take on the go, Batman animated series dice game is really good. So
Yeah. I'm glad you're telling me this now that I just put in a bid on a zombie dice auction. Thank you for the time.
uh,
That's only like $5. I feel
uh,
like that's okay.
oh, okay.
$5 is acceptable.
Yeah.
So, a couple things I've gotten since we last talked. I got this in the mail, which was something I supported on Kickstarter. This is Steal This Game. It's put out by Luda Creations, and basically what happened is when they were at Essen, I believe, no, Spiel Game Fair, they were robbed of the money I believe they made at their selling their games while there. And so this was kind of put out, and the gaming community, I think, responded really well. They had some weird trouble with shipping. It like came from Hungary or something like that. And a lot of people reported that they were like soaked and all messed up. But I think a lot of us, I'd say myself included, didn't really care about the game as much as trying to support, a gaming company that makes good games and needed some support. So it's really basic. Plays 2 players. You get briefcases and there's dice, and you're trying to figure out which of them holds the money. So it's based off of the experience. You're trying to steal the money from the cash box, and the other player's trying to protect it. So I mean, kind of a cool way to respond to a really crappy situation. They seem like a pretty good group of people, so nice little thing to pick up for $5.
Yeah.
And I actually did their latest Kickstarter, which the name I am completely blanking on for some reason. God, I can't remember what it's called. It's a 2-player game, and I'll be getting that hopefully in a few months. So Kickstarter is destroying my happiness right now in that I don't have enough money to buy everything.
Well, let me. Okay, so this is funny. Funny that you said that, because actually, this is one of the things that I wanted to, let's break the fourth wall. Like 2 minutes before we started broadcasting live, we said, "Hey, you want to talk about this? Cool, let's do that." Okay, awesome. So we're super prepared. But one of the things I was actually going to ask you is Kickstarter too saturated with games? One of the things that I've noticed is that right now I've got 7 Kickstarters that I want to support, but I can only really realistically support 1 to 2 a month at the most. That is like a perfect scenario. And so I look around. I just got an update that the Kickstarter for the Pursuit of Happiness expansion is going to be up in 48 hours, and I don't have any money to support it. There's no way. So what do you think? What do you think about the scene of Kickstarter and gaming right now?
Well, I think for a big part of it, it really is kind of, I kind of see the both sides, but like for independent people or for really small companies, like it's a way in which to get these games out that was never available before. And yeah, I mean, some of them end up being bad. I do see a lot of them end up just being like, hey, look, miniatures, because there are some people that aren't even board gamers as much as they are collectors of tiny, nicely shaped pieces of plastic. But yeah, I mean, right now, I haven't supported Stop Thief. I still want to. Long Live the Queen is the one that I supported. That was the one from Luda Creations that just went through.
That looks really, really good.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool because it had like a steampunk versus an original version that they're both working on. It was a cool one. I actually won a Kickstarter game through a contest, and then the one that launched yesterday that I'm looking at is Hardback, which is a prequel, they say, to the game Paperback by Tim Fowers. And Tim Fowers, and I posted this on our Facebook, is my favorite game designer. Everything he puts out has great art and plays really well. He made Paperback, Burgle Bros, and Walkstar, and has a game that I think is coming out that finished up on Kickstarter a little time back called Fugitive. So he's had one that launched.
That's right.
Yeah, and so like there's a lot of stuff out there. I think it's hard for us because we want to be able to buy these things, and it also can be difficult because you're not sure, is this game going to be published or not to where I can buy it later, or am I going to have to buy used copies because these games go out of print pretty quickly. So yeah, I mean, I see a little bit of oversaturation, but at the same time, like I don't know, I'm happy for those people that are able to kind of get one of their things published.
Yeah, yeah. I worry about some games that fly under the radar for too long. You know, a game that's up there for almost 30 days, and then it launches around the time of some of the bigger games. You know, we just got out of Rising Sun being up on Kickstarter for a period of time. There's a bunch of games that are coming down now that made huge splashes, and so now it's like, what's going to be the next thing that hits, you know? And I worry about some of the games that kind of fly under the radar and then don't get the attention that they need to be funded. You know, when you have, it's looking like, I mean, there are so many games each week being launched, and the thing that I worry about is people saying, well, if they have a bad experience. I've got a guy at work, a friend of mine at work, actually, he funded a game. Let's see, around August, he put some money on a game, and this was his second time back into Kickstarter. And it seems like every update that he gets is, hey, sorry guys, this is what's going on. Hey guys, sorry, this is what's going on. And now it's late delivering, and the guy's making tons of excuses about what's going on and how things have been, and everything. Almost every email update starts with, hey guys, sorry. And
Right.
he told me the other day, he said, it makes me hesitant to back another Kickstarter. You know, I've only done 2 of these, and now I'm not sure what I should do because I judged this one incorrectly.
Right. I think, you know, unfortunately, you know, it is not pre-ordering. It's backing up a business venture, really. And for some games, like with Cool Mini or not, it is, you know, a pre-order because they have the experience. They, you know, have made a ton of games, and so you're pretty sure that things are going to work out. But even some of the most successful Kickstarter companies like Pebble, like they did really well with their watch, but now they've sold to
Fitbit.
yeah. And so, I mean, these are, you know, just coming off the ground companies. You have to understand that you may not get your game. You may not ever get that money back. And I mean, that's not great, but you know, I don't know, at the same time, you're getting that thrill of like when that game arrives at your house, you know, you're one of the first people to get that. So you're going to have that experience of, hey guys, let me show you this really cool game, you know, and get that hype going. I mean, Scythe had that, you know, when it started to come out, and everybody wanted to be friends with you if you owned a copy of Scythe. And so I mean, I understand that, and I think what ends up happening is a lot of Kickstarter games aren't all that great. They're not as good as they look. And I think a lot of that comes because, like, if I think about board games, they're not really something I see advertised. I buy a game because I've either played it or heard about a person who's played it. Versus on Kickstarter, the only people that have played it, I mean, you and I have done reviews for Kickstarter. Like, you know, they're listening to us who play board games all the time, but they're not maybe as familiar with you and I and our play styles and things like that. So I think it's kind of in a weird way, getting more advertising than even like a normal board game would. So yeah, it's, you know, something that didn't exist all that long ago. And I do think like it is probably one of the major contributors to why board gaming is kind of seeing a revival in what we're in right now.
Yeah. I'm definitely grateful for Kickstarter and the opportunities that it's given to companies people that couldn't have normally made games. But I worry that it's going to be so saturated that some of the good games will not get noticed just because they may not have the ability to push it like they should, or may not have the backing that they'd like. So, and it's sad to see those things go by the wayside. So,
I mean, we've reviewed games like that didn't make it, and so
yeah,
I mean, and
that's
especially. Go ahead.
And that's actually one of the reasons why we went from doing a review of a Kickstarter to actually starting in 2017 saying that we're doing previews of Kickstarters. We don't want to tell somebody that, yes, this is going to be a game that you're going to get by mail. It may not happen. And so that's why it's a preview. We're going to give you our thoughts and our opinions, the pros and the cons, based on the prototype that we were sent. Because sometimes the prototype is not that great, but we see what it could be, you know, and so we try to hash that out in the previews.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So what are the what's the other game? You had another game that you were going to show me.
Yeah. The other one, you and I actually, I think I played with your whole family even at Game Fest, Game Around, one of those things. Atlanta Game Fest, I think was the one, and that's Caveman Curling. My parents got me this for Christmas, or not Christmas, for my birthday, because I do have a somewhat odd obsession with curling for a boy that has lived in Georgia all his life. But I mean, it's essentially finger shuffleboard on a piece of paper. But I brought this out at a game night at the high school where I work, and you know, everybody was wanting to play like apples to apples and other games like that. And I said to some of my students that I teach, hey, why don't y'all come over? I got a game for you to try. And they were really enjoying it. I mean, we played 4 rounds in a row, I think. Played some Speak Out as well, and they really seemed to enjoy it. So I like it, and I think, you know, dexterity is different than a lot of other board games, and it's a simple concept, but it's silly. You know, it's easy to have fun with, and
it's one of those games. It's in the same vein as Happy Salmon. Happy Salmon is a silly game that gets people around, gets people yelling, laughing, having a good time. So we're actually we were touring. I don't know, I'm not sure if we've actually said anything about this, but here in Columbus, Georgia, we're actually going to be putting together a board game convention. And so One Board Family and actually a local group called the Meeples of Columbus are actually going to go into this together and work it out so that we can put together a really cool board game convention for families. And so we were actually touring the space that we're going to be reserving yesterday, and I just saw the space having all these cool games that you could just stand around and shout and have fun with for families. And so it was really cool just dreaming about what that looks like coming up in October. So that's definitely one that we'll have to have.
Yeah,
so.
That's awesome. I'm excited. And we've got tabletop day this month.
Yes, as soon as we turn off this as soon as we turn this camera off, I will have to tell you, because our plans changed and I didn't realize that.
So you know, sometimes in life your plans change, and you have to admit it on a podcast that you're doing live.
I'll wait until the camera's off.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, it's a good month for games, and you know, Kickstarter, it's hard to complain about. There's too much, you know, for me, there's too much that I want to buy. You know, I am buying games in an auction right now for a guy that's selling in Columbus. And then I went online today, and Amazon popped up with buy 2 games, get 1 free. And I was like, no, my money's already gone. So to get money, I might be selling some of my games in a Board Game Geek auction. We'll see how that goes. Maybe that can be the next report of my life on the other side, selling games through Board Game Geek. Who knows?
Well, I think after our stop out in Florida when we went on vacation, I think picking up 4 new board games, we actually have to do away with a couple of ours. So pruning down.
Yeah.
So yeah. Cool, man. Well, you have a great night. We are actually going to be playing some board games with some coworkers that are coming over in 15 minutes. So I'll talk to you later, Rick. You have a good night.
Adios.